Welcome back. Time seems to be our friend and our enemy all at once. The demands of everyday life often leave us searching for ways to beat the clock. But at what expense have we pursued convenience to save time? We're here to talk about if convenience is actually worth the price. Jennifer Hunter from MoneyWise, and thank you so much for joining us,
Thank you all for having me.
Of course. If you think about modern life compared to 100 years ago, we have so many modern conveniences now, but some of those conveniences we pay more than we probably should for them, right?
Right, and I think you said it best, is that time is at a premium. And so we're going so many different places and we're in such a hurry that we will often pay for things to make life easier, or just to be able to get food in, or to have time to eat, or whatever it may be. And so as we become busier, the more we spend out of our budgets going towards convenience type items.
And you mentioned food, which I think is probably a big expenditure for me as far as convenience. I will buy something that's already made or have it delivered sometimes, instead of making the effort to go to the store, get what I need, come back and cook it.
Right. So we've talked before that American consumers generally overspend their food budget, and a lot of that has to do with this idea of convenience, that we might go to the grocery store with the best of intentions, and then life happens, and so we go through a drive-through, we order a pizza or whatever it may be. So if you really take some time and you sit down and you look at what convenience costs, and so if we're looking at those items that you pick up at the grocery, maybe the pizza you throw in the oven or some type of frozen food or something like that. I did a little experiment in my class with cookies. And so we looked at all the different ways that you can make cookies, how much it costs, and how much time and effort you put into that. And what it really came out to is that if you can go in with a good plan, so if you could start Sunday with a good food plan for the week, that really and truly you're not saving that much on those convenience items. By the time you're not saving that much time on the convenience items, by the time you get the oven heated and you get everything prepped and whatever has to go into those two, that really and truly, if you just do a good meal plan at the beginning of the week, you'll save a lot of dollars and you'll spend about the same amount of time.
Well, okay, that's good to know. That is very good to know. So if you just plan ahead a little bit, you'll actually be just as good, and you'll have more money.
Preparation.
Okay, very good. Where else can we get a little bit ahead of ourselves as far as paying?
Another area where we see consumers really go towards convenience would be ATMs.
Yes.
So if you've ever noticed, ATMs are very strategically placed at places like the mall or concerts, sporting events, places that you might need cash quickly.
Sure.
And often those ATMs have very high foreign ATM fees. And so we're all familiar of if we use a ATM that's not associated with our bank, that we may have an ATM charge associated with that. Typically these ATMs, though, in those settings that are not associated with any type of bank, will have their own fees on top of that. And so it can be a very expensive convenience of getting your money quickly. So plan ahead. If you're going to a football game or you're going to a concert, swing through the bank either the day before or on your way in, and draw out cash at your own ATM, or at least at a bank that you know has more reasonable ATM fees.
I despise ATM fees, so anytime I know I need to have cash on me, I do that. I plan ahead and just hit it on my way running my errands.
Right. It always bothers me when I see a line for an ATM of just how much people are spending. And it's one of those things that you don't realize. There's not a great big sign posted on it that tells you what those fees are.
Okay, and also we need to be aware of paying our bills on time.
Right. So just the simple act of automating bill pay or getting your bills paid on time will save you a lot in fees associated from your credit cards or just your utility bills or whatever. So often if we miss a bill, even if it's just by a day, or we don't make that minimum monthly payment or whatever it may be, we get lots of fees tacked on. So do some of these things that can add time by automating, making certain that you have a plan in place of getting your bills paid can help you save in that area too.
Very good. So it comes down to it, you have to weigh your trade-offs here.
Right. Life is all about trade-offs. And so we're making a decision, we're weighing what we call the opportunity cost, or what it's going to actually cost us in terms of dollars and time to make one decision over another. And so we just need to be very mindful about those decisions and make certain that we're making the best one for us.
Very good. Sometimes you need to step back and say, hey, was running through that drive-through really worth it as far as health cost, the money cost, and the time?
Right. We often find that there's a lot of health costs associated with convenience purchases too.
Okay. Well, Jennifer, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And you can search MoneyWise. Just Google it, MoneyWise at University of Kentucky, and you can find lots of great newsletters. And we're back with more for you after this.